This is part 2 of my review of the Meepo Electric Skateboard. Watch part 1 here. I've had the board for almost 2 weeks now, and during that time I estimate that I've gone about 100 kilometers or so. If you want the short verdict, here it is. The Meepo is very impressive and delivers exactly what it promises. It can compare comfortably to a skateboard that costs twice as much or more. It's not perfect, but for the price it will be near impossible to find something that is better. Let's go through the specs. Meepo claims 36 kilometers an hour top speed. I reached 35 kilometers an hour on smooth, almost flat asphalt at 95 to 100% battery. That's pretty close. The speed drops though as the battery becomes depleted, and at about 25% battery, the top speed is closer to 32 kilometers an hour. You also notice this on the acceleration. The lower the battery percentage, the longer it takes to reach higher speeds. Don't be fooled though, this board has some power. The 2 hub motors can deliver impressive acceleration, and if you're not prepared, it will kick you off. You will get to speed quickly, and more importantly, the board can brake almost as fast. This means that once you get used to the board, it will feel pretty safe, as you will know that you can stop efficiently even at higher speeds. It's fast enough to let you breeze past 95% of all people on bicycles, and fast enough to let you drive around in between cars in a city. You'll be faster than most cars off the line at a red light too. I live in a fairly flat city, but going up bridges or small hills have not been a problem. Range is also great. Here Meepo claims 18 kilometers, and I was able to go about 14 kilometers with about 20% battery left, which is pretty close to the promised range. I should say though that this was what I would call mixed driving in a city. The battery will probably deplete a little bit quicker if you go full throttle all the time. I was able to do my daily commute, which is about 9 kilometers in total, twice before the board needed to charge. Charging from roughly 20% to full takes about 2.5 hours, so a full charge should probably be close to about 3 hours. The charger I got is rated as 42 volts 1.5 amps and not 42 volts 2 amps as advertised on the website. It's no big deal, but it's worth noting. The ride is comfortable, and even though the deck felt a little stiff when I first unpacked it, it has a little bit of flex to it. It's not like a boosted board, but still enough to absorb some vibration and make the ride a little bit smoother. Big wheels also help, and you can comfortably drive over cracks, curbs, and even off-road through small grass patches without a problem. The only thing I don't like about the Meepo is the remote. It feels cheap and plasticky, but at the same time gets the job done. You go forward by pushing the accelerator forward and brake when you push it back. You can hit the switch next to the battery indicator to go backwards, but there's no easy way to rock back and forth on the board. There's also a switch on the side that swipes between beginner and advanced mode. Beginner mode basically limits acceleration and top speed. There's no safety switch and no real battery indicator of the remote, just a small little LED that is hidden where the strap connects. The controller does show the battery of the board, but where the board gives you 4 bars, the controller only gives you 3. This can be a little bit confusing. The controls are also a bit sensitive, and there's about a 2 to 3 millimeter dead zone where nothing will happen. It's not necessarily bad, but it takes some getting used to. The brakes also engage pretty sudden, and since they are so powerful, the board can throw you off if you're not careful. I would say that the learning curve is a little steeper than other boards, so stay in beginner mode until you feel comfortable with the remote. It took me about a day before I felt I could switch to advanced mode and go full throttle. But let me say this, I would rather have a cheap feeling remote that has a solid connection and works than a flashy one with a built-in screen that loses connection and jeopardizes your safety. I've never had any connection issues, which to me is a huge plus. This kind of summarizes the Meepo nicely. It's a great electric skateboard that delivers exactly what it promises, but it lacks the fit and finish of more expensive models. It's not that the board looks bad, it's just it lacks the refinement in the details. Plastic chips are visible under the glued compartment for the control unit and the battery. The screws stick out from underneath. The board has some scratches and blemishes out of the box. The grip tape is a little unevenly cut, but these things all really doesn't matter. Considering that this board is only $260, it is very impressive. Sure, that's without the shipping, but even with that included, you will have a hard time finding a board that is this good at this price. Thanks very much for watching. If you have any questions, please comment below. And if you liked the video, don't forget to like and subscribe.